John's energy and optimism about our industry, bringing together partnerships with Microsoft and others. He's amazing, and he's had the job a long time.
Over the last 5 days, Cisco is off 23%.
When it comes to the technology industry, this is the end of an era, the John Chambers era. And it's the beginning of a new one, the Chuck Robbins era. Yep, just last week, we learned that John Chambers, the CEO, has been running Cisco for more than 20 years, plans to retire come July and transition to the role of executive chairman. He'll still be there with Chuck Robbins, the company's senior vice president for worldwide field operations, taking his place at the helm. Since 1995, Chambers has led Cisco through good times and bad times, reinventing all along the way. He's always been straight with us. So I'm glad that he's leaving on a high note, with Cisco transforming itself from the backbone of the internet to the backbone of the red-hot Internet of Things, with first-rate security that's built into their products. That's very important at a time when every company on earth is worried about hackers. Now, Cisco just reported after the close today the company delivered a 1-cent earnings beat off a 53-cent basis, higher than expected sales, up 5.1% year over year, and a very solid outlook. And the stock's given us a quick 10% since we spoke to John in January. Let's check in with John Chambers, the great chairman and outgoing CEO of Cisco Systems, to hear more about the quarter and his company's future. John, welcome back to Mad Money.
Jim, it's a pleasure to be back with you again.
John, I've been on 20 years of conference calls. This was the most feisty I've ever heard. At one point, someone says that maybe you're losing some share. You call it garbage. You say that this is absolutely wrong, that you came out, right, swung against the white boxes, and you've left them behind. Are you leaving Mr. Robbins in the best position competitively that you've ever been?
Jim, I think you said it well. Our company is in the most competitive position ever. We've moved from selling boxes to outcomes. You're digitizing every country, every company. You either change and disrupt or you get left behind. And Cisco is the lead player. And you saw that in our quarter, in the balance that our public sector business around the world was up 6 to 7%. So was our commercial, so is our enterprise. Service provider a little bit weak, but you'll see us change that over the next couple of quarters. Our product leadership has never been better. We made the high-end transitions in switching and routing, and both those new product groups are growing very well. Our core switching business growing 6%, our routing business growing 4%, our collaboration growing by 7%, but by the way, deferred revenue growing by 20%. Our pipeline of new large deals in the U.S. enterprise, which will be the model for the rest of the world, is $3.7 billion from 1,200 business transformational projects going on. That's only $1 billion a quarter that we currently get out of that market. So nicely put. I think our innovation engine's going very well. As you said in that lead-in, we've learned how, when we get knocked on our tails, to get up stronger, much like we want our kids to do. And I think we're in the strongest position we've ever been. There will be opportunities and there will be challenges, but Chuck is absolutely the right CEO at the right time to take us to the next level.
John, about a year and a half, 2 years ago, were you concerned? Because the white label guys were pretty hot. We know that. The journalists jumped all over saying, well, this is Cisco's left behind. I feel like that the challengers have been left behind, but you had to be concerned maybe 18 months to 2 years ago when you didn't have the new products out that maybe some people were catching up.
Well, Jim, I think you go through transitions, and this is what Cisco's done that no other technology stock has done. You know where the market is today. We're projecting in the midpoint of our guidance record earnings per share and record revenue ever. Most of our peers are dropping in negative. The second thing is there will always be a new group of challengers. You and I have seen them come and go over the years, and they mainly come and go more rapidly. And 8 months ago at our sales conference, we said, watch what's going to happen. The industry's going to consolidate brutally. The VMwares, the Aristas of the world, the HPs of the world, the Alcatel-Lucents of the world, the Avayas, et cetera. You're going to see us pull away from those. And we've been focused on the white box guys for 4.5 years. That's what we're going to do with architectures. So you always want to be aware of market transitions. We normally lead them. But boy, this one we've got. And Jim, I did challenge people on the call when somebody probably misstepped a little bit in terms of saying, I think what you're proposing is going to be entirely wrong, and let's just deal with the facts here, and we are breaking away from them. So, Jim, I think we're positioned very well. People want outcomes. They want to convert their company. They want to digitize their company to generate new revenues, higher productivity. Cisco's positioned like no one else to do that.
All right, John, I saw you got good turn in Mexico. Obviously, Europe's fewer well of anybody. Can China continue to not spend as much and not fall behind? Can Brazil continue to be down 10% and not fall behind? Can the service providers continue to spend so little and not fall behind? Don't they have to come in? Don't they have to start spending more?
Well, I think the countries around the world, two of the three that we mentioned, China and Russia, are more political issues. I think as those political issues resolve, we'll get more than our fair share of spending in both, and we positioned ourselves carefully to do that. In terms of service providers, I think it's going to be a tough market, Jim. I think what you're going to see is we will take share there, and I went out on a limb. I said, I don't think service provider spending is going to increase the second half of the year, but in the next several quarters, I think you'll see us back move into positive growth from what's -7 today. That will be more of a share of wallet. But what you're going to see when there's $19 trillion at stake with every company become digital, the opportunity for Cisco to dwarf what we did during the 90s in terms of growth and relevance to our customers is very much there. And candidly, if you combine that with security, which you articulated in one of your shows earlier, we have the security strategy that the white boxes and the new challenges do not. You combine that with every company going digital, that's a boardroom discussion. So I feel very good about where we are. I think you'll see it in terms of growth.
All right, the Chuck Robbins era begins. More on the road than you,
Yes.
tougher than you, different collegial, less collegial. What's the rap? Because I hear he's just a tough guy. Tough, you know, and then some people say, John, a little less avuncular than you are.
Well, I'm not sure I describe him that way. I think we have many similarities, but let's go to an area we're different, which I think is very important. I'm very good on vision and strategy and then saying, let's just make it happen, connecting the dots. Chuck takes vision and strategy and he combines it with how you're going to execute to build in that vision and strategy. And that's why he was so good on taking U.S. enterprise, 21% growth this quarter, U.S. commercial, 6 quarters in a row where it grew at 10 to 11%. And he takes those principles and goes global. So I would word him more as unbelievably good on operational execution. He's just a machine there. We have many same characteristics in terms of being customer-driven, culture. Neither one of us perfect, but to the best of our ability, we always do the right thing. He's just the right match at the right time. But I'd say more similarities than difference, but he will do the things and change the things that need to be done as well. So I think you're really going to like him, Jim, and I look forward to him coming on your show at the right time when you're ready.
So do we. Now, last question, John. I know you're an educator. You've taught a lot of people, millions of people. Education now that you're moving on, college level, lower level, higher level, what do you think? Where are you going?
Well, I love to do all the both. 2 of my colleagues, CEOs, came and said, John, if you ran a class for CEOs, we'd sign up immediately. And I was humbled by that. I like college level. I like going in and talking to young people. They challenge you. I mean it in a constructive way. They have no respect for what you've done. They want to see how your mind works, and they keep you young. So I think involvement in education, you and I talked before about somebody's got to help get this U.S. back in line in terms of our government to becoming a digital country. The Europeans are beating us, and the players in Asia like India and China are beating us. Then I also like probably doing some startup time, helping companies go public, because it's kind of a fun cycle to watch. So it's a combination of that. But Jim, my key takeaway, my wife is my high school sweetheart. For 44 years, she's put up with me on this, and I finally get to spend more time with her. Her name's Elaine. She's an amazing partner in life, and that's probably what I'm going to enjoy most, time with her and with our 2 adult children and 2 grandchildren.
Well, I want to wish you and Elaine the best of luck. John Chambers, great to have you on the show, and I know there'll be many good things coming in the future. Good to see you, sir.
Jim, it's a pleasure.
John Chambers, chairman and outgoing CEO of Cisco, and he leaves on a high note. The stock's going higher. Mad Money back after the break. Booyah! Jim Cramer here from Mad Money. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube. Click here to subscribe and get the jump on my exclusives with CEOs, plus market news, investing advice, and a whole lot more.